guys, welcome back. So today's video is a what sold video, and this is actually what sold in the month of April. This month I had $9,200 in sales. That is gross. So I will break down some of the costs and numbers so you get to the net in a little bit. And I'm gonna share 15 of my highest sales, and I'm also gonna share 5 duds because I think it's important to share that we all make mistakes. And I do have an eBay story at the very end that I will share that I'm surprised eBay did the right thing. So stay tuned for that. I'll have some timestamps below in case you want to skip ahead to a certain section. $9,200 is not what I actually made. That's the gross sales. What I actually brought in was about $6,900, and that's after fees and shipping costs. So shipping on eBay you have to pay, so you have to remove that to get your numbers correct. My cost of goods and my small amount that I pay each month for some help sharing is $1,480. So it's approximately $5 per item that I sold in this month. Sorry, my nose is itching. And that leaves me with $5,420. Now, what that doesn't include is what I get from YouTube from both of my channels. It also doesn't include some side projects that I do that are non-reselling related. But that's pretty much what a typical month is, other than there was a little boost because of some of the Gossip Girl stuff. Now, keep in mind, most of my Gossip Girl stuff, there will be a separate video on that before or after this, was in the first couple weeks, which was actually the end of March, not this month, but there were some sales that were related to Gossip Girl from this month, and it did give me a little boost there as well. So to jump in, if you include the Gossip Girl stuff, my average sale price was $33.48, which is high for me. If you take out the Gossip Girl stuff that sold in April, it leaves me with $27.45 as my average sale price. And why I think this is really important to emphasize is, while it's fun to sell something for $100, I also sell things for $10 or $15. And what I'm really focused on is that average sale price, because it all contributes to paying my bills and it's all important for me. So some people don't think that the $10 or $15 items are worth their time. I actually think they are. They keep my listing up. I usually am buying them very cheap, you know, at the bins or dollars, or for $1 at Dollar Day. And it's really important for me in my 1 day a week that I go to LA to buy a certain amount of quantity. And so those items really help sustain my business. So let's see, I sold 146 items on Poshmark and 130 items on eBay. The reason I sold more on Poshmark this month, which I didn't make more, I just sold more, was because I was sending out offers like crazy. I think that's the one thing that I've been very off on with Poshmark, is sending offers. I just have a hate relationship with sending offers because they don't have a way to do it in bulk. And eBay, I can go in once a day and send offers to anyone that's watching an item. And it's very easy. It's like a one-click button. Poshmark is very tedious, and I just really don't like it. They have the ability to make things simple for those of us that want to do things in bulk, and yet they haven't, and it's probably my biggest pet peeve. But sometimes you just have to suck it up and just figure things out. And I've really tried to focus on sending more offers on Poshmark, because even as a buyer, sometimes I like something and just I'm waiting for an offer. So that's been like the biggest change. I also been sending lower offers on older stuff. So you can actually sort, you can sort by newest in, I can't remember the actual wording that they use, but basically you can sort your closet and you can scroll down to the bottom and find the oldest stuff and send bigger offers to the older things. And so that's what I've been doing, is if it's been sitting for over a year, let's get it going. Let's get a 50% offer sent out, and I don't care because it's been sitting too long. So with that brings some lower dollar sales, but it's moving items for me, which is great. Before we jump into the rest of the video, I did just want to mention the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare has been something I wanted to try for a very long time. I've seen so many ads and so many people talk about it. And just last week, I was realizing that I need to invest some time into learning new skills for my reselling and social media businesses. And so I finally responded to them and I'm so excited. I'm jumping on board so that I can actually do some good and learn some new skills. If you don't know what Skillshare is, it is an online learning environment where they have thousands of classes, no advertisements, around things that basically apply to everything reselling and social media for me. So the first 3 classes I'm going to take, one is called Fundamentals of Photo Editing. This is going to be great for the photos I take for reselling, but also the photos I take for Instagram, YouTube thumbnails, all of that stuff. The second one I'm going to take is filmmaking from home. So if you know, I have a second YouTube channel and it's more vlog style and it requires a lot more editing. And I just feel lost at times. Like, am I doing the right thing? What can I do to make these things better, blend better? And I'm really excited to take more of those classes. So that's what I'm going to start with. And then the third one I'm most excited about, which is the Productivity Masterclass. It's kind of the principles and tools of how to be more productive. And if you know anything about me, I want to be efficient with my time so that I have more time with friends and family and also more time for car camping with my dog. So they're always launching new premium classes and they're always giving you new suggestions. And the first 1,000 subscribers that click the link below, I know you've heard this a million times, but it really is free just to check out the service, which I don't think I realized before. We'll get a free trial membership to their premium membership level. And you can really just log in and see if anything seems worthwhile to make improvements for your reselling business or just learn some new skills for the creative side of all of us. So anyways, thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Let's jump back into the rest of the video. All right, moving into the 15 highest sales. These are from both eBay and Poshmark. I'll try and emphasize which is which. I'm actually going to start with one that's not part of the 15 and not part of my revenue, but I did share it on Instagram and I was really excited about it, and it was returned on eBay for fit. I have returns turned on eBay. It's not a big deal. I would say maybe 2 to 5 items a month get returned, and the buyer pays shipping both ways. So I do have to deal with the return process, but it doesn't really cost me anything to allow that. And it's not a big deal. If it instills some confidence in them to try something on, it just doesn't faze me. This one was a $500 Eskandar sweater sale. And I just was so excited when it sold. I do not have a lot of items selling for $500. And this one sold and it was returned because it was, I don't know, it was fit. It is a lag and look style brand. It is a one size fits most. It's oversized, and it apparently was just too oversized for her, even though I put it on the size 6 mannequin to try and give some sort of size reference. But this really bummed me out. It happens, and it's not the end of the world. So I relisted it. It's listed. It might take a while to sell again. I think I had it priced, or I have it priced at $6.99. And when I got that $500 offer after a couple months, I was like, yes. And then it was returned. It happens, but that's not part of my calculations or my numbers. I just wanted to throw that in to be transparent that I don't mind returns on eBay. I would allow them on Poshmark if I didn't have to lose anything, because I think there's just so many things that just don't fit the way they need to. And it definitely is hard for me to buy things online if I can't try them on or return them. So just my personal thought. All right. Besides that, my highest sale that actually went through was a sleeveless cardigan. I actually don't know how to pronounce this designer. Man, it's spring, so I feel like anyways, my nose is itchy and I'm gonna try and stop. Loro Piana. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is the first item I've sold. Actually, I sold it once before on Poshmark about a year ago. And it sold, and then someone immediately bought it, and they immediately sent me a message, is this authentic? And my concern with someone asking if something is authentic is I did not have it authenticated. It's a rare designer. It's probably not duped, and I'm not going to lie to the person. So I had stated to the person, I don't even remember what I said, but basically like asking someone and trusting them to say yes or no is not authentication. This is not a designer that is, faked or duped. I can't prove its authenticity because I don't have any like original receipt. Basically, I just went into the typical Courtney, Courtney, can you just make things simple? No. So I canceled it for her because she didn't trust my authenticity explanation of just asking someone and then lying and saying, yes, it's authentic without actually having any proof is not the best way to go about it. Plus, this isn't something that's like faked. If it was Prada, I could understand, get it authenticated. This is like a designer that, you know, is not very common. So anyways, I missed out on that sale a year ago. It finally sold again for $199 on eBay. I haven't had any returns open. I think it's too late for any returns. Knock on wood, but I should really knock on wood for that one. But it sold for $199. There was, I believe, a fee with not sponsored, promoted. I don't promote everything right away. I usually wait about a month before I promote things on eBay, and then I will promote pretty much everything past that point. But yeah, it was a size 6. It was really great basic. It was cashmere, and I'm glad it went off for the first time, but technically the second time selling. So, all right, next up was a Patagonia Retro X full zip jacket. This was a size large. I bought this at the bins the first time back at the bins after COVID. It sold for $92 in a bundle. So that was the deduction. Yeah, that was the price for the item in the bundle. And I love Patagonia. Not every Patagonia sells for a lot, but if you know the right pieces, it can do well. Size large is great as well. That's I think in Patagonia world, that is a 12, 14 is the equivalent. So, all right, next up is a T. Alexander Wang. This is a Raglan tee that was new with tags. And when I picked it up, it was new with tags, a designer. I probably paid $5 for it. When I went to do research, I found that Taylor Swift had worn it at some point. And so I was like, oh, great. And the only one that had sold was over 100. And there were a couple listed for like 2 something. So I listed mine for $149. And it sat and sat and sat. And finally, after a year and a few months, I got an offer for $70. And I had it at $149. And I'm like, you know, usually I just decline anything under 50% off, but this has been sitting for a year and I didn't know how to price exactly. You know, sometimes you go lofty and it just doesn't work out. I'm like, this is a $70 sale that maybe I would have to sit on for another year or 2 for the right Swiftie to find. So I accepted. And that's just one of those times that I just feel like I try not to have very strict rules around things. Just use some common sense, recheck comps, and you know, if it's a good offer, take it, even if it's lower than what you had hoped for originally. Next up is an Everlane Cashmere Turtleneck. I picked this up and I thought I was gonna get $30, $35 for it. But then when I went to look up comps, only because Everlane doesn't sell for that much for me anymore, when I went to look up comps, it was like, oh, these are actually selling between $50 to $70. And it was a size large, black, great basic. All of these have sold on, most of them have sold on eBay, except the Patagonia. That sold on Poshmark in a bundle. But the Everlane, I got an offer for $60. I ended up pricing pretty high, like $74. And I got an offer for $60 within a few days. And I happily accepted. So I'm not going to knock Everlane other than I've sold Everlane for $10 and I've sold it for $100. Okay, not really. Probably 70 or 80 is my max that I've sold it for. But a really great Everlane piece can still do well. And I was really surprised with this just because I wasn't expecting that much. Next up is probably the most shocking on this list, just because I like to take chances, especially on dollar days. So this was a dollar day pickup. It was a hand knit by Coleen Davis sweater. It was green, it was funky. I didn't even know what I was picking up. It was a one size fits most or some. It was an odd pickup for me. And I listed pretty high because I thought it was so colorful, it would photograph well, and it sat and sat. And finally, someone bought it outright for $49. And I'm thinking, just awesome. Awesome. Well worth the 1 year wait and the $1 price point. And just taking a chance on things. So if you have the space to have a large inventory, I think it's fun to take chances on things because for me, they sometimes really pay off. And that was a really fun sale to see. Next up is a St. John Santana knit skirt. This was a maxi skirt. I believe it had a slit on one side. It was black, basic, but a great basic. And this was a size 6. This sold for $49. It took a few months to sell. And St. John is very hit or miss for me. It's very expensive retail, but it does not mean every piece is going to sell for a lot. I have sold a tank top by St. John for $12, $15, you know? So it's definitely a brand to look for a specific item for, and some of them can sell for a lot, which is great. Next up is an item I sold twice. The first time it got returned for fit, which is fine. The second time I haven't heard anything, and I think it's past the point of no return, hopefully. So this is a designer Kedem Sasson. I'll try and write that on the screen if I remember. This was a pair of lounge pants. There was no size. Compared to some of the other pants that I found, it looks like this might be a one size fits most thing as well. These sold for $50. I think the first time this sold, it sold for closer to like $60. So didn't sell for as much the second time, but I was happy to see them go. And I was just hopeful that they would fit the next person. So next up is and these have all been eBay again, besides the Patagonia. I do have a couple more Poshmark here down at the bottom, but this is Hatch. This is a brand I like to pick up. That's a maternity brand, which is very rare for me. This is a striped top. The style is I'll write it up on the screen. I've now sold this top twice, and it's a very popular top of theirs, but it's a striped top, a little bit of a nautical flair. There's some front pockets. This was a size 0 in their sizing, which is a 0 to 2 in maternity. So, but it, you know, room for the bump. This sold for $49, and it had a small flaw. It had a faint stain on the sleeve, and it still sold very quickly. And the other time it sold, I think, was closer to 60. And so yeah, definitely like this brand, and I'll keep picking it up. The next one is another surprising one. I had picked this up right after I did a video of brands that I won't pay much for, and Boden was on that list. And then I picked this brand up, or this item up by Boden, and it was a dress, Houndstooth dress. It was a 12 long, which they do a lot of like long sizes. And I do like to pick those up because I know it's hard to find like longer length things. And when I looked Boden Houndstooth, this exact dress that was long sleeve, had the front pockets, popped up a couple times, and it was selling for, you know, 40 to 60. And I'm thinking, what? Most Boden items for me, even at the best of best, is like 30 to 35. And so I priced high. I priced at 49, and it sold within a week for full price for $49. And that is not common for that brand for me. And it was just right after I did that video, and I was just giggling to myself going, okay, should I take that out of the video? What should I do? But most Boden items only sell between, you know, 20 to 30 for me, and I won't pay much for, but that was an exception. And I did say in that video there were exceptions, but all right. Next up was a brand I've had for a while, another brand I took a chance on, and it's DZHavael. I'll write it on the screen. I don't know how to pronounce it. This was a bins find a year and a half ago, before COVID. I think we should just reference things like that. It was a size large, but it was a little bit smaller. I put it on the size 6 mannequin, referenced that. It was a cute style, but didn't really have that many comps. Priced it at $49, hoping for 30 to 35. And after a year and a half, it sold full price for $49, which I'm like, absolutely, thank you, yes. So I don't know if I would pick up that brand again, to be honest, but I'm happy that one sold. Next up is an Akris Punto jacket. Akris has a couple different lines. Punto isn't the highest line, but it's still a reputable line. It's not cheap. This was a size 14. It was purple, kind of a nice spring blazer, or if you're working from home and you just got that, you know, top up type of thing, it would be a really great little pop of color. This one sold for $48.30, and it only took like a month or two to sell. So I was pretty happy with that, because blazers aren't my best selling item. I still pick them up though. So next up is a pair of shorts. IRO is the brand. IRO jeans. Pretty expensive brand, hit or miss comps, hit or miss for me in selling it. But these are a pair of shorts that were a size 6. I didn't do the pictures correctly. I should have had the fold over at the waist. And when I realized that, I didn't want to go back and take new photos. So I just left it as is. If someone searched for that specific type of shorts, because I did find the name, they would be able to see it worn normally. I mean, sometimes I'm just lazy. I'm human. And they were decent photos, but this sold for $50. It took probably about 5 or 6 months. So not a quick flip, but not terrible. Next up is a bridesmaid's dress, or what it was considered on Show Me Your Mumu's website. It was the Belinda dress by Show Me Your Mumu. I found 2 Belinda dresses and 1 maternity. I can't remember the other style. The maternity one just sold recently. I still have one of the Show Me Your Mumus. And then this one was a size medium. They all were new with tags of some tag, not price or anything, but had some tag associated with it. And this sold on Poshmark as an offer to liker for $55. So then you would remove the 20% plus the $1.50 shipping discount. All right, next up was a skirt by a designer, Hensely. I picked up 2 items by this designer a long time ago, 1.5 years ago. And very little comps, really took a risk on them. The top ended up selling, the shirt ended up selling 6 months ago for $60, $70. And then this one sold, the skirt, which was a midi length brown, it had kind of a lace up. I don't have pictures here, so I'm just going off memory. This one sold for $51. It was actually part of a bundle, but when you broke down the bundle, that was the price for that item. So, I mean, they were not quick sellers, but I'm really glad I took a chance on those. Moral of the story, take chances if they're cheap and if you have space to store stuff, because yeah. All right, next up is a brand and other stories. It's an H&M sub-brand that's a little bit more expensive than the H&M line. And this was new with tags. It was a kind of a red, white, and blue print silk shirt, a button front, long sleeve. It only took a couple months to sell this, and it was great. It sold for $49 on Poshmark, just regular, didn't have a shipping discount. And yeah, so those are my top 15 sales, plus a little bonus Eskandar that got returned. Anyways, all right, 5 bad buys. So first bad buy was on eBay. And, you know, I'm pretty good about finding alterations, like signs that an item has been altered, especially with all the Gossip Girl stuff, because a lot of that was altered, or quite a few items were altered. But these, I did not see it. I didn't see it. It was well done, and I listed it as is. And I thought the measurements were small, but AG doesn't really have the best. I mean, it runs a little small on certain styles anyways. So anyways, the girl on eBay, I got returned, and I did have to pay shipping both ways, which is not ideal because they said, you know, the weird thing about this one though was she made some claims like the seller insisted that this was not altered. And I go back to my messages. I'm like, A, I don't insist anything. B, if someone had asked me, I'd probably like take a closer look at the item, you know, before responding to them. So just kind of made that up on the buyer. Most buyers are totally fine. eBay is not a scary place. I have bad buyers on eBay and Poshmark, and most of the time both platforms side with the buyer, but which doesn't faze me. But this case, I was just like, why are you making up this story that I insisted it was not altered when that was actually not the case? But it got returned. I lost the money. It was a bad buy because it was altered and I didn't notice. I am still going to try and sell them eventually, but probably not for much. Now, the next 4 items were all sold on Poshmark with my low offer to likers on my older items. And $6, $7, $7, and $8. All of them had shipping discounts because they were all offer to likers. So basically I made my money back on this stuff, and that's it. And it sat for over 2 years, I think, for almost all of this. So I do not recommend. Love Tree Bomber Jacket. I thought this was so cute. I bought this when I first started reselling before I was full-time. Probably bought it, you know, for a few dollars. I didn't go and look at the price right now, but it finally sold for $6 with a shipping discount of $1.50. So I made, you know, a couple dollars back. Sat for over 2 years, and yeah, it happens. It happens to all of us. I would not pick that up these days, which would be obvious, but I feel like I need to emphasize that. Next was a Shopo. It was a, like, either a crop top or, yeah, it was kind of just a crop top bra. It was a size 10. It sold for $7 and the shipping discount on Poshmark. So made a couple dollars back. This I got at the bins over a couple years ago. Wouldn't pick up this brand again. I think it's a boutique brand online, like from Asia maybe. Maybe some of the stuff does better, but anytime I see it now, I just don't even look it up because it's not really great quality, and I didn't have a great experience with this. So next up was a tank top by Lillie Rubin. This had some beading on it, also over 2 years old. So in the beginning of my reselling journey, I sold for $8 plus it was in a bundle of a couple items. So $8 was actually the price of it, but it also took over 2 years to sell. And I would not pick up that item again. And then lastly was a Pleione V-neck tank top. Now I bought this at the bins probably a year and a couple months ago. So not super, I mean, it's old, but not as old as the other ones. This, I just, it was lightweight, easy to list, no big deal. Size extra small, only sold for $7 plus the shipping discount. So again, I only made a couple dollars back. That one, at least I probably made somewhat of a profit since I did buy it at the bins and it was super lightweight. So the bonus eBay story that I just wanted to emphasize was, because it's a learning experience, was I sold an item this month that was Obiandoli bag. I picked this up at the bins a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's lightweight, it's pretty small, didn't have any interest. I think I priced it at $15. It was a bad buy in general, but I had someone buy it full price overseas from the UK. And I don't have a lot of issues on eBay. I've had a couple bad buyers. I've made a couple mistakes on my own. It's not it's nothing. It just, all platforms have some flaws and some issues. But this buyer bought it on Friday. I was going to ship it out on Monday, and I was going to ship it out on Tuesday. So I don't ship every day because I live 30 minutes from the post office. So whatever. Anyways. So I was going to ship on Tuesday, which would have been the last day I needed to ship this item. And on Monday, I received a message from this buyer in the UK stating they were very disappointed. They received shoes and they ordered a bag from me. And I am like, what just happened? She just ordered this and she's in the UK. Even if I did expedited shipping, it'd still be at least a couple days of shipping time. So I looked at it and I replied to her and I said, I think you have me mistaken for someone else. You just purchased this on Friday. The item hasn't even been shipped yet. Your tracking will be updated tomorrow when I go to ship your item and everything will be fine. Feel free to contact eBay if you had another bad purchase. So 3 weeks go by, and I get a notification from eBay stating that they had taken care of a case for me. I didn't even know there was a case that popped up, but apparently the person opened a case that said they didn't receive the item, didn't receive anything, and apparently eBay saw the tracking and just automatically took care of it. Yep, you got the item, it's all taken care of, because I do global shipping program. Well, then the buyer decided to open a case against me saying item not as described. I received a pair of shoes and not a bag. And I'm like, is this seriously happening? I mean, she claimed I sent her shoes before I even shipped the item. I don't even know what to do with this. And so I contacted eBay. I've always had a good experience contacting them. They don't always side in my favor. They have to side in the buyer's favor, as does most platforms. But in this situation, I'm like, you can clearly see her messages. She accused me of sending her shoes before I even shipped off her item. I think something's a little off. I think she's confused. You have access to see what else she has purchased. Can you maybe check to see if she has some other purchases? And I'm like, oh, well, let me talk to my supervisor. They get back to me. Finally, they come back and I'm like, we're really sorry. What we can offer you is just accept the return. When you receive the item and you receive the correct item, call us and then we can then mend the situation and maybe compensate you for some of this hassle or some of the recovery. And I said, okay, well, I understand and completely understand your position. What if she doesn't ship back the correct item? What if she ships me back shoes? Then I have no claim. Then she's just going to send me back some dingy shoes and say that's what she's been saying this whole time, even before I ship the item. I don't understand how this is giving me confidence. So anyways, then I thought to myself, wait a second, I'm going through global shipping program. If she's accusing me of sending her the wrong item, even though I think it's her, because again, the accusation happened before I shipped the item, it actually went through global shipping program. There was a middleman. While I'm sure they are on top of things with global shipping program, because I've never had a problem, it's the easiest thing to sell internationally for me. Technically there's a middleman. So I said, you know, I do think there needs to be some consideration that it wasn't me shipping directly to her. I shipped to eBay, or your partner, your global shipping program partner, and they actually shipped on my behalf, and they could have actually made a mistake. So then he puts me on hold again, and he comes back. He said, actually, there is global shipping protection, global shipping program protection that will protect you from this. So we're actually going to let you keep the money. We're going to give her her money back, and this is all part of the protection. So the reason I'm sharing this, I didn't think it was well deserved of a complete video. The reason I'm sharing this is while all of these platforms will almost always side with the buyer, sometimes they do things that are correct, and there are some protections. And if you do come across shipping something internationally and they make a claim that you sent the wrong item, bring that up, because there are protections apparently with the GSP system, and I think it's helpful to share. So that is it for my sales. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like these what sold videos, keep watching. I tried to, share a few more numbers this time to hopefully be helpful. If you're curious as to what it's like to be a full-time reseller, I do not do this to make a lot of money. I took a huge pay cut from my corporate job to do this, but I also have a flexible work-life balance. I also enjoy what I do, and that is the moral of this story. And yeah, so anyways, I will see you guys all in the next video. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.